Shane Van Gisbergen has been perfect. He has navigated the streets of Chicago to perfection. The final time, onto the front stretch. He comes to the checkered flag. He's won the very first street race in NASCAR.
Shane Van Gisbergen has taken NASCAR's road courses by storm, leaving even the most seasoned drivers in his wake. His dominance in just a few seasons has redefined what it means to master these tracks, making his rise from Supercars champion to road racing powerhouse undeniable. Why is Shane Van Gisbergen absolutely untouchable when it comes to NASCAR's road courses? Well, the guy's record is mind-blowing, 4 wins in 5 road course races. In just a short amount of time, he's completely shattered expectations and redefined what it means to race on these tracks. SVG, a 3-time Supercars champion from New Zealand, came into NASCAR and instantly made some of the best drivers in the world look like amateurs. He's changing the game, and here's why. Let's rewind to July 2023. NASCAR introduced its first ever street race in Chicago, and everyone was on a level playing field. The track was brand new, and no one had any prior experience racing there. To make it even trickier, the weather threw a curveball. But SVG, a rookie in NASCAR, didn't just come in and compete, he came in and dominated. He started from the middle of the pack, worked his way through the field, and took the victory in his first ever Cup Series race. It wasn't just a lucky win, it was a statement. SVG wasn't just competitive, he was on a completely different level than everyone else. Kyle Larson said that when SVG got to his bumper, it felt like SVG was flying past them.
When he got to my back bumper, I felt like I pieced together a really good section, and I was like, I thought for sure I'd look in the mirror and I was going to be like 2 car lengths or something in front of it, and he was glued to my back bumper. I was like, holy shit, this guy is flying.
SVG wasn't just fast, he was in a different class. So what makes SVG so unstoppable on road courses? It's all about his background. Before NASCAR, he was already a superstar in the Australian Supercars Championship, a series filled with intense competitive road course racing. Most of the races there happen on narrow, unforgiving street circuits or traditional road courses. The cars in Supercars are heavy, powerful, and challenging to handle, much like NASCAR's next-gen cars. SVG's years of racing on these types of courses gave him the skills he needed to excel in NASCAR. He learned how to brake late into corners, conserve his tires, and find grip in places where others couldn't. While many NASCAR veterans talk about muscling their cars around the track, SVG has a smoother, more finesse-driven approach. He's able to carry much more speed through corners without burning up the tires. This allows him to go longer on a run while keeping his speed up, while others around him start fading as their tires wear out. But it's not just about driving fast. SVG has a sharp mental game. He knows exactly when to push hard, when to save his car, and when it's time to make a move. Trackhouse racing owner Justin Marks says SVG is one of the few drivers who can think on the edge, making smart strategy calls while driving at full speed. SVG races with calculated aggression. He knows how to balance risk and reward, which is exactly what makes him so tough to beat. He's not just fast, he's mentally sharp, making decisions in real time while still pushing his car to its limits. That's a skill not many drivers have. His crew chief even refers to him as a machine, such as his precision behind the wheel. The results speak for themselves. At Watkins Glen in 2023, SVG won by 11 seconds. In NASCAR, that's a massive gap. By the time second place crossed the finish line, SVG was already doing burnouts in Turn 1. As we move into 2025, SVG's record in NASCAR is absolutely staggering. In his first full season, he's already won 4 out of the 5 road course races he's entered. He's won at tracks like Mexico City, Chicago, Sonoma, and Watkins Glen, some of the most iconic road courses in NASCAR. These wins have placed him on the same level as NASCAR legends like Darrell Waltrip, Martin Truex Jr., and Chase Elliott. Except he's done it in just 2 seasons. And the way he wins isn't just impressive, it's almost unfair. He makes it look like the competition is chasing a completely different formula. SVG doesn't just race on tracks where he has experience. He's beating drivers who have spent their whole careers mastering these very courses. Sonoma and Watkins Glen, for example, have been part of NASCAR's schedule for decades. SVG is making these courses look like his personal playground. SVG's incredible success on road courses is about more than just wins. It's about NASCAR's current playoff system, which allows a single victory to secure a spot in the postseason. In the past, a road course specialist might win a race or two, but still get buried in the standings. But now, with the playoff system in place, multiple wins can transform a driver into a legitimate championship contender, even if they dominate only on road courses. SVG's road course mastery has set him up as a serious title contender. While he's still working on improving his oval racing, his ability to dominate road courses has made him a force in the postseason. He doesn't need to be perfect everywhere, he just needs to keep dominating on those handful of tracks, and the championship could be his. Now, you might be wondering, if SVG is such a road racing specialist, how does he succeed in a series like NASCAR, where the car is designed to level the playing field between oval specialists and road course pros? The next-gen car was meant to make it harder for road course specialists to come in and dominate, but SVG has transformed the narrative. Despite all the changes and adjustments in the next-gen car, SVG has shown that it's still possible to dominate. He has combined his elite road racing skills with the ability to adapt quickly to the NASCAR environment, proving that pure talent and racing IQ can still leave everyone else in the dust. He's taken the challenge of NASCAR's new car and used it to his advantage. SVG's journey from Auckland to Daytona is nothing short of remarkable. He's not just adapting to NASCAR, he's changing the sport. His success in road racing has already influenced the way fans and drivers view NASCAR's road courses. He's proven that great drivers don't just fit into a sport, they can transform it. So what's next for SVG? Will he keep dominating the road courses, or is it only a matter of time before the rest of the field catches up? If you ask me, it's already too late. SVG has rewritten the rulebook, and NASCAR road racing will never be the same again. Shane Van Gisbergen has completely transformed the NASCAR road racing landscape. From his Supercars experience to his dominance in the Cup Series, he's set new standards for what it takes to be successful on road courses. He's not just winning races, he's making history. The real question now isn't if SVG will continue to win, it's how long before the rest of the field catches up. But honestly, I think it's already too late. SVG has already proven that he's the best road racer in NASCAR, and the future of road course racing is in his hands.
Cletus McFarland isn't a regular race car driver. He's a YouTuber. But when he entered a race that hardly anyone watches, over 1 million people tuned in. Why did so many care? And what happened during that race left everyone shocked. ARCA has never been a big deal. It's where new drivers get their start, older ones take one last shot, and rich hobby drivers come to have fun. For years, it's been the lowest level in NASCAR's National Series and doesn't get much attention. But something changed. The 2025 season opener at Daytona pulled in over 1 million viewers more than the Truck Series race the night before. That's the most people ARCA has had in over 10 years. And it wasn't because the racing was exciting, it was actually a pretty bad race. The real reason? One man, a guy who most people didn't expect to be there at all. To really understand why that race mattered, you have to look at who brought the audience with him. Not a championship contender, not a legacy driver. It was a guy named Cletus McFarland. At least, that's the name people know him by. His real name is Garrett Mitchell, and his path to the Daytona grid was anything but traditional. He didn't grow up in the NASCAR scene. His dad worked as an auto detailer, which helped spark an early interest in cars. But Garrett's world was much more about local car meets than it was about drafting at 200 miles an hour. He bought a white Subaru STI as a teenager, and that's what first caught the eye of someone from a local production house. That moment sparked the start of something unexpected. Garrett's first real foray into automotive media came with 1320 Video, a car-focused YouTube channel. He spent most of his time behind the camera, filming meets and races around the country, but all it took was one video to flip his role. In 2015, outside a hotel in Pueblo, Colorado, he and his buddy shot a short, goofy video. It featured a fake persona, Cletus McFarland, complete with thick accent, ridiculous patriotism, and a love for big American muscle. That joke character caught fire. Viewers loved it. Overnight, Garrett Mitchell had something bigger than just footage. He had a persona people wanted to follow. Cletus McFarland was never meant to be more than a joke, but over time, the character and the real guy started to merge. His accent thickened. The sleeveless shirts became a signature. And most importantly, he began creating his own content. This wasn't just a typical car vlogger making burnout videos. Garrett saw the bigger picture. He started building cars, breaking records, and eventually buying a track. He bought an old defunct speedway and turned it into the Freedom Factory. He turned it into a home base for events like the Freedom 500, where retired police cruisers and Crown Vics become the stars of the show. Beyond that, he launched his own parts brands, grew a team, and expanded into a full media operation. He wasn't just a gearhead anymore, he was running a business empire fueled by horsepower and YouTube clicks. About a year before his ARCA debut, Hurricane Hella tore through Florida's Big Bend region. It was one of the deadliest hurricanes to hit the U.S. in decades. With roads impassable and people stranded, a few private citizens stepped up with planes to help. Cletus was one of them. Flying supplies in and people out, he wasn't alone. Also in the mix was a familiar name to longtime NASCAR fans, Greg Biffle. The two had already raced each other in one of Cletus's Crown Vic events, but now they were flying side by side, helping people survive. That time together built a bond, and in between rescue missions, Garrett mentioned that it had always been his dream to run the Daytona 500. Biffle told him to start small. That meant ARCA. That meant turning content creation into competition. That meant real racing. Cletus made his ARCA debut in the very car Frankie Muniz once drove. It was a surreal crossover moment with TV stars, YouTubers, racers all sharing the same track. But even before he made it to the green flag, he hit a wall. Not on the track, but with the rules. In his very first test session, officials put him on probation for having his own onboard camera, something banned due to concerns about spying on other teams. It was a rookie mistake, but also a clear sign of the line he was walking between being a media figure and being a serious competitor. He was allowed to stay in the field. When qualifying came, he made the race, and from there, everything got real. In terms of results, his ARCA season was a mixed bag. At Daytona, he was caught up in a wreck not of his making. At Talladega, he overcame engine issues and brought the car home in the top 10, a genuinely impressive performance for someone with zero prior superspeedway experience. Then came Charlotte. A restart went wrong. He spun his tires, stacked up the field, and took out another driver. He got out, stood in front of a camera, and apologized. The honesty, the mistakes, and the way he handled them added depth to his story. This wasn't just a YouTuber pretending to race, he was trying to do it for real and learning the hard way just how difficult it is. It would be easy to call him just another influencer looking for clout. But that would miss the bigger point. NASCAR needs star power, and Cletus brings it in ways few others can. His videos pull in millions of views. His appearances on NASCAR's official YouTube channel outperform many races. When his name is attached to a post, engagement jumps. He's not replacing veteran drivers, but he is introducing the sport to new fans, and in a time when attention is everything, that matters more than ever. In many ways, he's a throwback. NASCAR used to be full of big personalities who came from humble beginnings. Today, many drivers are molded from karting programs and family money. Cletus didn't grow up in that world. He carved his own path, and that authenticity resonates. Cletus McFarland isn't just a driver. He's a symbol of how the racing world is changing. His rise says more about the internet, media, and cultural shifts than it does about lap times. He represents something rare in modern motorsports, a DIY success story. He didn't come from corporate sponsorship or famous last names. He came from filming cars in parking lots. He took a fake name and made it real. He built something from nothing. The American dream might not mean what it used to, but stories like this keep it alive. When someone like Garrett Mitchell makes it to a national racing stage through persistence, hustle, and creativity, it challenges everything we thought we knew about how you get there. Some drivers get famous because they win. Others win because they're already famous. Cletus is trying to be both. He's still got a long way to go, and he knows it. But in a sport desperately in need of new blood, fresh perspectives, and engaged fans, he's not just welcome, he's needed. He won't win every race. He might not ever win a race at all, but what he's already done is shift the conversation. He brought over 1 million people to watch an ARCA race that most would have ignored. He turned a long-shot dream into a full-time effort, and he proved that sometimes the most unlikely stories are the ones that change the game. Garrett Mitchell may never be a NASCAR champion, but Cletus McFarland, he might just be the spark the sport didn't know it needed.
Can you do some more racing next year?
Yeah, we're planning on coming back.
Part-time?
Yeah, part-time.
Cletus McFarland is about to shock the racing world. The YouTuber who made his name with wild burnouts and crazy car stunts is stepping back into real competition. In 2026, he's returning to the track, chasing a dream that many thought was impossible. The question is, Can an internet star actually fight his way to the top levels of NASCAR? Cletus, whose real name is Garrett Mitchell, first got famous on YouTube. He built his brand with wildcard builds, crazy stunts, and loud horsepower that drew millions of viewers. His fun style and love for racing made him one of the biggest automotive creators online. Unlike many others, he always wanted to take his passion from the garage to the racetrack, which pushed him into professional racing. His first major step came in ARCA, the series often seen as a gateway into NASCAR. In 2023, he made headlines when he attempted his first short-track start at Bristol. For anyone who has followed Bristol, they know it is not the place for beginners. It's a half-mile bullring where even veterans get humbled. Cletus qualified 27th and managed to run only 61 of the 200 scheduled laps. A right front tire failure sent him into the wall and ended his night early. He was open about the disappointment, but also about what he had learned. The challenges of managing the car, tire wear, and traffic on such a small and intense circuit gave him an immediate education in what racing at this level really requires. That debut was far from glamorous, but it didn't scare him off. In fact, it set the stage for what came next. Over the following seasons, Cletus continued to chase ARCA starts, particularly at the super speedways. By 2025, he had entered 4 different ARCA races. These included major stops at Daytona, Talladega, Charlotte, and of course, Bristol once again. This time, the results were far more promising. He managed to earn 2 top 10 finishes, including a strong run at Talladega and another at Charlotte. Those results turned some heads in the garage because few expected a YouTuber to hang inside the top 10 against serious competition. Still, Cletus remained his usual self in interviews, admitting that he got his butt kicked plenty of times along the way. He pointed out that racing is unforgiving, and he had to respect the craft, the preparation, and the years of experience his competitors had. Instead of getting discouraged, he treated every setback as another lesson, something that his fans resonated with. They weren't just watching a creator throw himself into racing for views, they were watching him grow as a driver.
All right. Reactions to first ARCA Bristol race.
I got my butt kicked, man.
Then came the announcement in September 2025. Standing on pit road at Bristol, the very same track where he made his rough debut, Cletus confirmed that he will return in 2026 for a part-time ARCA schedule. This wasn't a vague tease. His team owner at Retta Jones Racing explained that they're lining up somewhere between 8 to 10 ARCA races for the season, along with additional super late model starts. That's a significant commitment and shows this isn't just about dabbling anymore, it's about building consistency and proving he can belong in the racing world. The plan for 2026 is important for 2 reasons. First, it gives Cletus the chance to log more laps, more experience, and more time with his crew. In motorsports, repetition and familiarity are everything. Second, it positions him for his bigger long-term goal, which he has not been shy about. He has said he wants to compete in the Daytona 500, possibly by 2027 or 2028. That's one of the most ambitious jumps imaginable, but he is setting the groundwork to at least make it a possibility. Source. Of course, that dream comes with plenty of speculation and rumors. Earlier this year, chatter began spreading that Cletus might be involved in NASCAR's Truck Series, with whispers about possible manufacturer backing, particularly from Ram. The rumor mill spun fast, with some people even suggesting a path that would take him directly into NASCAR's National Series. However, Ram's CEO was quick to deny any involvement, putting a stop to that storyline. For now, the focus remains on ARCA, but the fact that these kinds of rumors even exist shows how much excitement Cletus has generated. The road ahead won't be simple. Racing costs a lot, and even with fans and sponsors, it's tough to fund. On top of that, some people doubt him. Supporters cheer him on, but critics say he doesn't belong or is taking a spot from another driver. That mix of doubt and support is what makes his story so compelling. Despite the doubts, there's no denying the cultural impact. Cletus brings an entirely new audience to the track. His millions of subscribers follow him because of his entertaining content, and many of them had never watched a NASCAR race before. By stepping into ARCA and potentially beyond, he bridges the gap between digital entertainment and traditional motorsports. NASCAR has been trying to capture younger audiences for years, and a personality like Cletus does exactly that. He creates a storyline that resonates both online and at the track. 2026 will be his real test. He has around 10 ARCA starts lined up, facing super speedways, intermediates, and short tracks. Each track type will push a different skill, and he needs to show he can handle them all.